Good morning and thanks for joining us for KBOI 2 News Midday. I'm Rick Douglas. Now to your top 11 stories at 11. The fog this morning has created dangerous conditions on I-84. Several crashes and slide-offs near milepost 14. The freeway is currently closed in both directions from exit 13 to exit 17. That's due both to the crashes as well as significant ice reported on the roadway. Over a dozen vehicles reported to be involved, and an ambulance is among the vehicles that have crashed. Meanwhile, up on Bogus Basin Road, a two-vehicle crash. Road conditions were slick, causing a Land Rover to rear-end another SUV. The two vehicles ended up crashing into the side of the hill, but no injuries reported. This all happening about a mile up Bogus Basin Road.
Our job now is to make sure that every American feels that they're a part of our country's comeback.
In his State of the Union speech tomorrow night, President Obama will unveil plans to reform the nation's tax code by raising the capital gains rate on the wealthiest Americans, eliminating what the administration calls the trust fund loophole, and imposing new fees on Wall Street firms. The money saved over 10 years would fund free college tuition for some students and middle-class tax credits. The day after the speech, the president will speak at BSU. It'll be open to the public, but you will need a ticket. You can pick those up today beginning at 4 o'clock at Albertson Stadium ticket office. Only one ticket allowed per person, and they're available on a first-come, first-served basis. Also, be aware that only about 2,500 tickets are expected to be available. If you do manage to get a ticket, here's what you need to know. The actual speech will take place inside the Kavin Williams Sports Complex next to Albertson Stadium. Doors will open at noon. No bags will be allowed inside the complex, and no signs or banners will be allowed. All attendees will go through a security checkpoint similar to what you find at airports. Also, absolutely no camping or even waiting overnight outside the complex will be allowed prior to the president's visit. Well, already this morning, Boise State students with a valid ID were picking up tickets at the Student Union building. The sub opened at 7 for those willing to wait in line. BSU faculty and staff can pick up their tickets beginning at 2 this afternoon, also at the sub. Complete details will be sent out to university email addresses. A two-car crash in Meridian takes the life of an elderly woman. Meridian police say a white SUV was traveling westbound on Fairview yesterday near the intersection with Locust Grove when a gold Cadillac turned directly into its path. The collision trapped the 66-year-old driver of the Cadillac. Firefighters cut open the car's roof to get the woman out. She was rushed to St. Al's, where she later died of her injuries.
Those vehicles collided, and as you can see from the footage, it's pretty much a direct T-bone crash, and those vehicles rotated and ended up where they're sitting right now in the middle of Fairview.
The occupants of the white SUV were taken to the emergency room at St. Luke's and Meridian. No word on their conditions this morning. On the Warm Springs Mesa this morning, a local contractor is using a crane to remove a handful of rocks that have been deemed a safety risk, like the 50-ton boulder that rolled onto Warm Springs last Wednesday. Warm Springs between East Starcrest Drive and East Starview Drive has been closed ever since. But before Warm Springs can reopen, the other rocks have to go. Oregon State Police say it could be several days before they can fully reopen all eastbound lanes of I-84. Black ice on Saturday caused a chain reaction crash that closed the freeway eastbound from Pendleton to Ontario, some 160 miles. State troopers say 26 vehicles were involved in the initial pileup and dozens more were trapped in the mess. Fortunately, no one was killed, but several people were sent to hospitals in the region, some with serious injuries. Now, this photo from the crash scene has gone viral. It shows 27-year-old Caleb Whitby of Mesa, Washington, in his crumpled Chevy Silverado, wedged between two semis. He said today it's a miracle he survived.
I turned right back, closed my eyes, and said a prayer that I'd be safe, and I do believe, and I'm very firm in that. And I just held onto the wheel as tight as I could, tucked my head, and just kept praying the whole time. And I mean, after he hit, I just hoped that it would be over with soon. When things like that happen, and what I've kind of come to realize is that it is a miracle.
Oregon State Police say it could be several days until the crash scene is cleared up. Well, it's Martin Luther King Day, and the Idaho State House is hosting a special celebration. It'll be at noon in the Capitol Rotunda. Idaho Senator Sherry Buckner Webb will preside over the ceremony. A local rabbi will speak about the importance of human rights in Idaho and the struggle to maintain and expand them. Lieutenant Governor Brad Little also will issue a proclamation marking Idaho's observance of the holiday. There were some very unhappy Seahawks fans out there yesterday, and it obviously had nothing to do with the outcome of the NFC game. I mean, the Hawks won, but a power outage in the Highlands area of Boise meant no one there could watch the game. Idaho Power says a big tree fell on the main line just off Ranch Road, and that meant cutting power to some 300 customers while they removed the tree and de-energized the line to repair it.
It's a big football day today. It consists of a lot of people are asking questions, but we worked efficient, safely, and tried to do our best, and we got the power back on, so hopefully everybody enjoys the rest of their Sunday.
Idaho Power had crews at a staging area at Highlands Elementary, and they expected to have everything back to normal by 2:30, but the fix proved more complicated than they first thought. So power wasn't restored until almost 5 o'clock last night.